My dear brothers and sisters in Jesus Christ, I am once again extremely delighted to share this reflection with you. Today, we celebrate the feast of Saint Mark the Evangelist. It was said, Mark wrote it down in his own words what Peter preached in Rome. Mark has given all of us a short and a sweet gospel. He wrote this gospel in order to encourage the persecuted Christians in Rome. He motivated them to have faith at all seasons of life. He proved his faith by dying a martyr's death in Alexandria, Egypt. Around 68 AD, he was placed a rope around his neck by his executioners and was dragged down the streets of Alexandria until he was dead. He teaches us today to give up everything, even our life, for the sake of the gospel. The first reading of today is taken from the first letter of St. Peter. I would request you to kindly read it, as I find it a kind of treasure that St. Peter offers us for our spiritual well-being. He begins by asking us to clothe ourselves in humility. It is said, humility is the mother of all virtues. Humility is not seen in lessening ourselves. Rather, real humility is to present ourselves as truly as we are. Humility helps us to acquire other virtues as well. It is a driving force for humanity. It helps us to live life in holiness. Pride, at the same time, destroys our life. Pride lifts up our ego and justifies all our wrong actions. Pride gives way to all other vices. In that case, it's opposite to humility. As Peter puts it across, when we are proud, we enclose ourselves to the graces of God. But a humble person receives his graces abundantly. The second thing that Peter advises us is to bow down before the power of God. In other words, he encourages us to embrace an attitude of surrender. It is in surrendering that we find the real meaning of our life. He also asks us to stand firm even when things that take us away from God surround us. He tells us not to be worried about the sufferings of life. Rather, face them confidently. When we face them confidently, we move towards perfection. We grow in holiness. Remember, St. Alfonsa had to face so many trials and sufferings in her life. She took them as an opportunity to glorify God and to increase in holiness. So, the first reading today offers us two important pointers for life. The first is to remain humble, and the second thing is about reaching holiness through surrender. In the Gospel today, Jesus sends out his disciples with a command. Go out to the whole world and proclaim the good news to the whole creation. There are so many other things that Jesus speaks today. Please read the Gospel of today when you find some time. The apostles are given the call to proclaim Christ. This is the universal call for all Christians, not only for apostles or the disciples of Jesus. All of us are called to bear witness to Christ. Christ does not ask us to carry out this proclamation alone. Rather, he will accompany us in this journey of proclaiming him. Jesus also says that the one who does not believe will be condemned. Faith is a common factor for us human beings because we are created by God himself. We are created in order to be united with him. Still, we find people who have closed themselves to God. We pray for their transformation, also for all of us, so that we may remain steadfast in our faith. God bless you.